Hi, welcome to Bench Movie Club. I'm Charlie.
My name's Ben.
And we've got a guest speaker today, my daughter Lily Rose.
Hello.
Today we're talking about the Barbie film 2023, written and directed by Greta Gerwig, whose previous work was Lady Bird, Little Women, Nights and Weekends.
What, Little Women?
New one.
Ago?
I think it was a new one.
Oh, right.
There was a new one
with
came out.
Winona Ryder.
No.
In fact, I think there's one before that.
There's a few. It's an old book. Little
What is
Women.
it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, it's that Bronte. Isn't it? Bronte sisters?
It's Ben, our resident
read
doofus.
No.
Doofus scream.
Is it
a book?
No,
is it?
I've read it before.
Is it
It's a
the
book.
Bronte sisters?
It's written by Louisa May Alcott.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not even close.
Okay, so I'm not even close. I'll just shut up.
We'll
then
cut all
for the rest
that.
of it.
You can cut all that out. Yes, so the film Barbie, which surrounds, it's about the character Barbie living in a Barbie world with all her friends who are also called, most of them called Barbie, and all the men, and most of them are called Ken, except for Alan,
Yeah.
Lily's favourite, and was the Midge, friend Midge who's got the baby,
Yeah.
and they're both based on actual Barbie toys.
I think Rosie had Midge.
Midge was a doll which they made her have a baby.
Yeah, Rosie had
later on,
that.
and it was quite a controversial,
Yeah.
like little baby. They had.
I think the stomach come off and there was a little baby inside it. I
Yeah.
bought that for Rosie one year.
There's also a skipper.
That's why she's got a baby in the film.
Right.
Skipper.
Yeah, there's a couple different skipper dolls. There's like the growing up skipper where they move her arm. Don't you remember?
No, what's that got to do with growing up?
There's the bit where because her doll torso grows upwards and
Her breasts come out.
and then when you move the arm upwards they grow.
Really?
Yeah. That doll also got cancelled because of that.
Yeah.
The film stars Margot Robbie, who came to fame with Wolf of Wall Street, Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, I, Tonya. Also Ryan Gosling as Ken, who we reviewed Drive
That's right,
recently, which he starred in Notebook, La La Land, Blade Runner 2049. It also stars Kate McKinnon, who a comedic actor, was in the Ghostbusters, the female version, Office, A Christmas Party, and The Spy Who Dumped Me. She played the weird Barbie. No, the one with all the cut hair,
Right.
her legs split. Alexandra Shipp, who's X-Men in Storm. Simu Liu, who's in Shang-Chi. John Cena, who's plays Peacemaker in Suicide Squad, big WWE wrestler. He plays the merman Ken.
Yeah.
I remember there was Rhea Perlman in it as well from Cheers.
Yeah, that's right. And this she plays Barbie's creator, doesn't she?
That's correct, yeah. And also, she's very distinct looking. You know, she was married to Danny DeVito.
Yeah, they're not married anymore.
I think that I know they split up, but I don't know if they're still sort of together, but not together. I don't know if they're still living as a family. And I don't know. I really don't know. But she was also in Matilda with Danny DeVito. Didn't they play Matilda's parents?
Yeah. And it's also got Michael Cera in it from Superbad, Scott Pilgrim, Juno, and he played Robin in the Batman Lego film. And he was your favourite character in it, Lily?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I just liked how unique his character was, and
Who, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, not just that, but the way that he supports the Barbies was interesting as well. Because he's like one of the only Kens that doesn't end up.
Oh, he's not Ken, is it?
No, but he's all his clothes fit him. Ken's clothes.
Yes, but that's because that's what
Yeah.
when the Alan doll came out in like the 60s or whatever, he was just Ken's friend Alan, and it said like all the Ken's clothes fit him too, so his clothes are literally Ken's hand-me-downs.
There's spoilers in this, so
It will be spoilers in this. We haven't said too much about the film yet, so watch out. There's spoilers. If you haven't seen the Barbie film, watch the film and then listen to this.
there's an actor called Connor Swindles, and I recognise him straight away that he's a British actor. The little gang that go from Mattel that go to Barbie Land, and they're all suited up, and he's like the young guy.
Right.
He's like the one. He's got just the shirt and
who is
tie.
he?
He was in a series called Sex Education. That's how I remember him.
Right.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's actually two other sex education actors in Barbie as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So there's Emma Mackey and Shruti Gatwa, and they're both like students
And who
in
does
sex
that-
education.
Were they the any main characters from it?
Yeah,
Or is he
so
the only
there's
main character?
So Emma Mackey is the Barbie that comes out in the maid dress at one point, serving the Kens as well.
Right.
And there's also he's also one of the main Kens that appears as well, and he's the one who's like, oh, I just want to go hang out with my friend Barbie near the end of the film.
So maybe someone that watched that might watch Sex Education then.
Yeah, it must. Maybe the casting, similar casting director.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see when you look and you go, oh, okay, it's good. You sort of feel, someone else is making it.
Yeah.
I just want to mention as well, last week's podcast, which was on a BBC show. I'm afraid now to even say the title of the show in case, for some reason, BBC copyright it. It's not available in the UK on YouTube. So if you're listening to our podcast on YouTube and realise and think, why didn't they post one last week? We did, but it's not being shown up in that region. If you're in America or somewhere else, you'd probably be able to hear it. But for some reason, a certain British network won't let us show it over here. Yeah.
And the thing is, out of all the films that we've reviewed, it is probably the least known film. It's because it's the BBC. I don't care. I can say that.
Yeah, it's the most obscure film out of everything that we've done, and they decide,
no, we've got to block this in your country.
We're too important.
Yeah,
but
that's why I can't stand the BBC.
If you're in England and you do want to listen to it, you can. It is on Spotify.
Yeah, and also the iTunes and stuff like that. So you can listen to it on podcast. But the thing is, unfortunately, you won't be able to get the visuals because I put a couple of little clips in it, and there's only tiny little clips. But the film we were talking about was Abigail's Party, so.
Yeah.
If you can't.
Right, so, Ben, this was your choice, so you start. What did you think about the film?
Right, it was my choice, but remember, I hadn't seen the film at that point. So, to be truthful, I think I must have missed something in it. I actually was expecting it. Okay, yeah.
Just say it.
No, it ain't that I didn't like it. I don't know what I was expecting, but I thought I'd heard so much hype about it and everyone was loving it and everyone still loves it. I mean, it's obviously really big. It's made so much money.
Not everyone loves it. There's loads of people hate it.
Oh, is there? That's what I'm saying, yeah. Like, I watched it with Jodie, right? We both sat there and we thought, I don't know, have we missed something here? It's like there was good bits in it. I did find, which I'm sorry to say, I just found it really woke.
Yeah.
Like, I think realistically, if you're thinking of a Barbie, right? I thought Barbie Land would basically be loads and loads of Barbies like that, all people looking like Barbie, because Barbie really is long blonde hair and like the slim sort of figure. That's basically what the Barbie is. But I'm saying, listen, I do think that a lot of the time it's ticking boxes. I find, and I find people are so scared of offending anyone that they add, I've got to add this, got to add that, got to add this, got to add that.
It's good. I was pleased in a way that you didn't like it. Yeah. And the reason I
thought I would like it, and I thought I was going to go, oh my God, it's fantastic. It's going to be like, because I like a nice feel good film. I just found it. I didn't find the storyline so strong, and the Barbie characters, that was the extra characters, the other Barbies, I just didn't really. I didn't get it like that. I got.
Look at.
No, I'm not. I'm not like. Oh no.
No, the thing is with me, right? Remembering Barbie, like when we was kids, Rosie, our sister had.
You used to buy
loads. I used to buy loads of Barbies. Now listen, Barbie, if you think from all through the 80s, 90s, she's always looked the same. So okay, fair enough. I know there's all different Barbies you can buy now. That's all good and well. That's all fine. There's no problem with that. But Barbie Land should basically be full of Barbies like her. And then she's the one that sort of stands out and goes, like, then it would make her character stand out more. That she's like, why am I feeling this way? If there's all the little Barbies walking around.
So like they could have gone in your ideal one. They would have. It could have been the same film, but Margot Robbie could have played all of them, because with this technology, you could have got her to be all the Barbies going, "Hi, Barbie."
Yeah, exactly.
Barbie,
see, that would have been good. That would have been good, because then she would have looked the same. It would have been the same Barbie. I didn't also, looking at all the other Barbies, I look and think, well, okay, I don't remember Barbie that looked like that, or looked like that, or looked like that. It didn't look like Barbie Land to me. Barbie Land, you'd have loads of Kens that look like the same, like him, but all dressed differently. You could have loads of Ryan Goslings, all in different outfits, and all the Barbies would look like her, all dressed the same. But then there's the one that stands out. It's that kind of thing. Also adding her friends, maybe to do the storyline. I think that
it may have been something they considered, and I think that would have been interesting. It would have made characters like Alan and Midge stand out more.
Yeah, I don't think because there was so many that didn't look like Barbie. No, hang on.
That might be That might be a reflection of today, though. Like that, as you, the current Barbie crop. If you went into a shop and buy Barbies, like in my work, there's a Barbie bay at the moment, and it keeps selling that. And they've got all the different ones. They've got the Barbie in the wheelchair.
Yeah, but that's because of the film, Joel.
No, it was done before that. It's been out for a while.
There's about 2015, I think it was. I might be wrong, but there was a new Barbie collection that came out to try and include all different kinds of women because
that's
Barbie
good.
Is
No, I agree with that. That is really good.
But no, I know. I'm not saying that you disagree with that, but I'm saying that that's why there was all the different kind of Barbies, and it's meant to show that like she wasn't meant to feel out of place, but she was, even though she is stereotypical Barbie. That's the thing. And even though there's like all these different Barbies that look different, it's meant to show that even if you are perfect, like not really, you're gonna find things that are wrong. And then you're going to seek out the answers to it. That's why it was how it was. So,
and the rest of the film, you just sort of didn't take to it that well.
Well, I think I was maybe expecting too much from it. I liked, there's bits of it I liked. I thought there was some funny bits. I liked it when they went to the real world. And that, you know, there's some sweet little bits. Like the monologue at the end and all that. I just didn't, I don't... And I like a feel-good film. You know, I like the most random stuff, and I always have done. That's why I expected to really like this film. But I think, realistically, with films nowadays, especially sort of family films, Disney films, they're just too
woke.
Too woke. And it's not about being inclusive or anything like that either. It's about it's like they're not even worrying about the story that they're talking about. For example, they're doing Snow White soon. Snow White is skin as white as snow, hair as black as ebony, lips as red as the rose. The actress ain't that.
And they got rid of the dwarfs as well.
Right, yeah.
But that is something worth mentioning because it is something which
I know, but
people...
See, the thing is, I'm sort of scared to say anything. It's not me being prejudiced about nothing, because I really ain't. But it sort of makes you sort of feel... I have to really second guess what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to offend people, and people are so angry nowadays. It's like everyone's on the attack, and it's like, and you don't even realise you've offended someone, and you go, I didn't mean it in that way. Why does everyone have to come attack him? When rather than debating and going, okay, well, why do you see it this way? And I'll go, well, listen, I'm nearly 49 years old. I've grown up with, for example, like, so when I was a kid, all the little girls around me had Barbies like this, and that's what I'm looking at it like. Maybe, as I say, this film isn't really for a 49-year-old. Whereas, so maybe, as you say yourself, Lily, you're only 16, so you can actually sort of look at it from completely different eyes because you're a different generation to me. So that's probably the reason why I didn't get it. And but I do feel that films in general are really ticking boxes at the moment.
No, I know what you're saying, and the thing is, I know you're also being very careful because I am
being very careful
because you're not wanting to offend anyone,
no.
But you just sort of you want to politely protest against it. Say, listen, that's not what I was expecting, and it's not so hard to get something spot on. Now with the Disney remakes, personally, I can't stand any of them. I want to see Beauty and the Beast and what's her name, Emma Watson?
Yeah,
is it? She looks like Belle. That's great, but the film's still rubbish. Yeah. I don't see the point of them remaking just because it's a cartoon. Let's make a live action version. Yeah. Well, that's separate. Now, with the woke side of it, what you're saying, I get that because I've seen that in things. I think they're pushing too hard. They're doubling down on it, and I find that sometimes in this film. But I also personally thought that apart from one or two bits which were a bit preachy for me, most of it I thought, okay, well, bearing in mind I'm not a young girl who the target audience is for, I can still enjoy this objectively. And I went and saw it in the cinema. And bear in mind, I saw it in the cinema as well with the big screen.
So it's just with a load of little girls.
It was really uncomfortable because it was a packed cinema and there was literally one seat left, and I went and sat next to this woman with her kids, and I said, look, I'm sorry about this is the only seat available. She went, okay. Before the trailers had even finished, she'd got up and moved. So I then had like 4 seats next to me because they obviously thought, why is this weird man sitting in the cinema on his own? But I thought it was going to just be like a parody. I just thought it was going to be making fun of Barbie, which I think it is in some ways. But I saw the film and I thought, you know what, it's quite enjoyable. I like this. I enjoyed it.
Maybe I need to watch it again and sort of with my eyes open.
But this is the thing. I think you're also right as well, because there are loads of people who hate this film. Ben Shapiro, who I've watched a lot of his videos. Some of his things I don't agree with him, some of them I do. He's done a 40-minute rant about this film, about how it's the worst film ever made. He just talks about and breaks it down, saying why it's bad, and Piers Morgan as well has come out against it, saying that it's about men hating. I don't think it's quite men hating, because I think Ken is portrayed in a sympathetic manner.
He's like quite a dope.
He's a dope.
But the thing is, I personally feel that Ken is meant to represent how women have been displayed in movies in the past.
Right, okay.
That's how I personally have seen the film.
But you're wrong.
No,
go on.
Let me just give my 2 cents, and then Lily can chime in. Now, with Ken, how I saw him was he's devoted to Barbie. He's only put there as an accessory for her.
Right.
And he looks into the real world and sees the patriarchy, which even when they go to the real world, if you look at it properly, it's not bashing men, because the woman doctor he's talking to is a woman. And he's like, you can't be a job. So it's actually showing that the real world is actually more tolerant than the Barbie world. Because in the Barbie world, the Kens are literally on the sidelines. And even when Barbie gets power back, she says, and one of the Kens says, can one of us be on the panel? They go, no. I think that was a misstep. I think they should have said, yes, equal opportunities. That I get. But them saying, no, Kens, know your place. You think, well, you've missed the point. You're making this point that women are put in a certain category. But now you're saying, yeah, but men should be kept that way in Barbie land. But Lily, how many times have you watched the film?
I've seen it 3 times now.
Have you? Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, the first time...
It obviously resonates with her.
Actually, as I say, it's a big age difference. Back then.
She's a girl.
I went and watched Barbie on opening night, and personally, when I went and saw it, the entire cinema was packed, and there was like loads of women all dressed up in pink, ready to go and see the film. And even at the end, everyone was clapping when it finished as well.
See, this is the other thing. Sorry to interrupt you. Imagine going to see Rocky Horror and you go in there and it's packed with people all dressed up. Even if you've seen it 100 times, you'd be going, this is quite fun.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
yeah, but
so
I
it might also be the way you watch it, because if you're sitting in your front room with just one friend watching it on a small screen, you think, it's all right. But seeing it with all the bells and whistles, you think, this is cinema. This is how cinema used to be.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lily, go on.
But there was so much excitement from everyone in the room, and like it was really obvious because everyone was laughing like very loudly, and everyone was like picking up on the jokes. And personally, when I watched it, I really loved the film because it said a lot of things in a way that it wasn't trying to exclude anyone, I don't feel, but it was saying things that haven't really been directly said in a lot of movies before, I personally think. But again,
You wrote a...
I've written quite a long thing, but I don't.
Yeah, no, that's good. This is what it's all about. Listen, I haven't really got to be truthful with you. I haven't. Look, I was sitting there. I was thinking, I've got to write some notes about this film. I'd actually done it before you come round today.
Yeah.
I went write down a couple of bits, make it look like I've done stuff, because I just wasn't really grabbed by it. If it had been a film I was being grabbed by, I'd been sitting there going, oh my god, I love this bit and I love this bit.
Yeah.
The film in general is okay. I think it's okay. Maybe it's just not for my age group, which really, I'm not the target audience for it, am I? Really, my age.
But this is the other thing. See, I wouldn't have thought it would necessarily resonate with me. Before I went there, I was talking to one of my friends and he was going, don't go waste your time with that. I've heard it's really woke, I've heard it's this. And, you know, when people double down on things, people are so defensive nowadays against woke things, which I find I am sometimes. Sometimes I watch things and go, oh, for God's sake, another thing. Why are you constantly coming after us men? Why are you constantly... So I half expected not to like it. And then I watched it and I found I did like it.
So I said that the Barbie movie was a comment on the female experience and our relationships with our mothers. And obviously there are things about it that are really blatantly obvious, and it's got comments on like the patriarchy and stuff like that. But there are also like very subtle things in the film that are meant to target that as well. And there are moments where it talks about women not feeling good enough, the things that make them human quite blatantly. But there are also really subtle elements as well that, again, not everyone is going to pick up on. But I will also say that, like, not to say that all men won't get some aspects of the movie. However, almost every male I have spoken to after seeing the movie, they either didn't like it or thought that the movie was good, but they didn't enjoy it the same way that, like, for example, I enjoyed it. And this isn't to say that all men won't enjoy the movie and understand it, but what I'm saying is that there are things that in it that target the female experience, and men won't necessarily find it relatable in the ways that I did. And the aspect about our relationships with our mothers as well is also a big thing of the film, as it shows how, as I don't remember the name of the actress, but she plays the mum in Matilda. She also
Rhea Perlman.
plays
Yeah.
the creator of Barbie, and it says how she mothers pave their ways for children so they can look back and see how far they've gone, and it's showing that we have to follow what we want to do in life as women as well, and yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but see, that's also might be why Jodie's daughter, it resonated more with her
she's
than it did
17,
Jodie.
yeah.
Because Jodie's daughter see it, and she had an emotional response to it, but especially with the mother-daughter thing, because when daughters get to a certain age and they start pulling away from their mothers, they start...
You know what,
building their own
I
life.
think Jodie actually said that as well. I think Jodie said, it goes, it's like mother-daughter thing, maybe she said, that's why she might have liked it.
Whereas the mother might not necessarily resonate with it as much, because... Jodie has more experience with older films, which there are other films which have tackled this, but maybe not so directly. Whereas you and Scarlett would have watched the film and it hits the note, like, oh my God, that is like me and my mum. I feel emotional because the connection that we had. The same way that a guy might go and watch Expendables. He goes, I want to go see this action film, blah, blah, blah. Takes his girlfriend, she goes, what a load of rubbish that was. He goes, well, it's not for you, it's for me.
Yeah.
So, but there are also...
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a teenage girl. Maybe if I was a teenage girl, I'd be sort of like
The thing is,
loving
I wouldn't
it, you know,
actually
but-
say that it is just a film for young women, because, for example, when I went to the cinema, in the row behind me, there was an old man and an old woman who'd gone and seen the film together, and after the film I looked back and she had this big smile on her face, and she seemed really happy when leaving the cinema, so obviously it's meant to just target
And what
all
about
women.
him?
He seemed quite happy as well, but I think that's... I think that was...
He's on a promise.
I think it's more just to show the fact that Barbie was something that I think all women had in their life. Like, I had Barbie dolls.
Well, it's been around since the 50s. I think the very first Barbie you see in the film is the original sort of outfit that Barbie wore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is like that's the very first Barbie there was.
And like they said at the beginning, which beginning opening's a parody of 2001 Space Odyssey, where they have the girls playing about. Of course, the original 2001, it's got a bunch of monkeys, friends, but bones and stuff. But like they said in that, up to that point, girls were given babies to play with. So you think, preparing themselves just to be mothers, that's all it was going to be. Whereas as soon as they got the Barbie doll, they thought, wow, I can go on adventures with this person. I can sort of imagine what it's like to be a full-grown woman.
Yeah. I always thought Cindy was better than Barbie anyway. I think Cindy was...
Do you know
always...
Cindy?
Do you know Cindy? Do you remember Cindy
I've
dolls?
seen your Cindy dolls before.
It's like I sit there playing them. That's cutting out. So listen, so we might as well get the giggles out of the way now, because I'm not putting that in
So
there.
Ben, if
you
we-
have no, because it's looking like I'm sitting upstairs playing with fucking dogs. I ain't doing it. So you two better get your laughs out of the way.
Sorry.
What's that? The Bratz dolls took a big chunk out of Mattel in the 2000s. They were showing an alternative to this Barbie girl aesthetic. They were showing all like these like punk sort of looks.
What are you laughing at?
She's laughing at Cindy.
You bought the Cindy dolls for me and my cousins to play with. That's why I'm laughing.
Yes, when Lily
about
was
it.
when Lily was a little girl, because Ben's got loads of nieces and nephews, and he bought like a bunch of things for them to play with. One of the things happened to be a Cindy doll. So please don't think that Ben plays with Cindy dolls in his spare time.
Think you're funny.
So yeah, it's that which I thought was interesting, because it shows. I didn't pick up on that the first time. It's only doing research I realised, okay, the connection is the Bratz dolls was took a huge...
You're going to have to stop now. You've got to get your giggles out of the way. Stop it and start again. Did you also know that the creator of Barbie, daughter, is actually in the film?
No.
Yeah, she's 82 and she speaks to Margot Robbie or something in it. I can't remember.
Oh.
She gives her some advice.
I think it's the old woman that's sitting down.
Yeah,
But you're supposed to be
Sorry.
sitting down when you're
sorry.
talking.
Sorry.
People will hear you.
Right.
Sorry.
So,
No, you know when she goes to the bus stop and she walks into that
That's
old woman.
right. Yeah.
And
There's
she
a
goes, "You're
old woman
beautiful."
sitting on the bench, and she says, "You're beautiful." Says to
And
the
I
old
know
woman.
it. That's what she says back to her.
Yeah.
so that is the daughter of the creator
think
of
so.
Barbie, because I know that she's in there, and apparently that the director, editor, the writer had to really fight to keep that clip in.
Yes, I heard about that, but
I don't
honestly,
understand why. Well, I mean, I don't understand. There's nothing wrong.
Because the studios now, they try and make things as streamlined as possible. The idea is people don't lose interest. In the TikTok generation, people only have an attention span of like 30 seconds.
Tell me about it.
And they also think if we concise the film a bit, we can show more showings of the film throughout the day. Now, sales of Barbie dolls declined sharply from 2014 to 2016. In 2020, Mattel sold 1.35 billion worth of Barbie dolls and accessories, and this was their best sales growth in 2 decades. This is an increase from the 950 million the brand sold during 2017. According to MarketWatch, the release of the 2023 movie Barbie is expected to create significant growth for the brand until at least 2030. As well as reinvigorated sales, the release of the movie has triggered a fashion trend known as Barbiecore.
I mean, there's a whole culture of like, I mean, whenever I see like my mum's friends' kids, right, they're just on their iPads all the time.
Yeah.
Which I think that my age group was probably one of the last age groups that actually had a childhood, which sounds really sad. I've not been immediately thrust into the world of social media.
Yeah.
Unlike loads of kids that I've met nowadays, and they're talking about things that I don't think that kids should be talking about, but
Yeah.
I think that what Barbie's done has actually helped reset that in a way, because
hopefully,
I think
so little girls could be little girls again and play and use their imaginations.
It's not just that, but
because that's what it is
will,
about,
yeah.
isn't it, with dolls and stuff, you know?
Well, yeah, say like when Lily was a child, she would be playing with her dolls with, say, like her cousin or one of her friends, and that gives you time to be creative. If you're playing with something, going, what are we going to do with this? Even, let's go to the shops.
Yeah.
I don't like peas. Start making them argue or something like that. Whereas now kids just observe. They don't get to be creative.
No.
They observe an iPad. The lack of options for things has always created more talent, because you might think, oh, well, we had this, but you think generations before that would have looked, well, we had even less, and we was even more talented.
I think that's, if you look back, it's like the talent, like look how talented people was when there was nothing to distract them.
I'm a creative person.
Yeah.
I like making artwork, and I realise that the more time I spend on platforms like TikTok, the less I end up doing any of my art, which is why I'm so glad that the Barbie movie did come out, because there's so many little girls that are going to go watch that. They're going to want a Barbie doll after watching the film.
But like she was saying, with the Barbie doll, I would rather give my child, rather than an iPad, which is with supposed educational things on it, I'd rather give them something they can be creative with.
Of course.
Whether it's a pen and paper or a toy that they can play with. I used to play with toys when I was younger. I had turtle figures and X-Men and Thundercats, He-Man, and I'd come up with all these little stories around them and stuff. And
I think you used to let them attack Rosie's Barbies, didn't you?
Yeah, they
they
didn't used to attack them. They used to make love to them. I used to,
What, the turtles?
yeah, I attached genitalia to the turtles, and they were, I did.
Did you?
You know,
How old was
you used to work in the forum,
Yeah.
and you had earplugs.
Yeah.
There was one set of earplugs you had, because they were little squishy foam things that expanded out. One of them was green, and it was circular at the end, so it was perfect. I'd stick it to the turtle at the front, push it in, and then I'd go, "Hey, Barbie," and then it would crow. And then
when we're talking about imaginations and kids, I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, I was probably like about 13, 14, so I was obviously thinking something.
Right.
And the funny thing is, the Barbie dolls are like twice the size of the turtle figures as well, so they had to climb up the Barbie dolls. But I still think that is more productive than sitting behind a computer, behind something that someone else has created, and just observing with your mouth agape. Because they used to say the same thing about TV. Because you think before TV, when every household would have a piano, look how many people used to be able to play piano. They'd go into pubs and they'd go, "Yeah, I'll play a tune."
Yeah. And a lot of it by ear, you know, so they didn't have no lessons.
Whereas how many people now play the piano?
I mean, again, I would say that isn't to say that all kids are doing that when I say that. Like, for example, a lot of my friends, they do the things like the piano. Like, two of my friends at least, they'll collaborate playing on the piano together. But I think I'm more worried about the kids that have been born since around 2012. Because they've had to grow up with the culture of iPads and like
what you're saying what you're saying has been said by every single generation. So it's people first of all being scared about, say, music hall and cinema, and then TVs in the household, saying that's everyone's turning into zombies watching TV. And then there was the computer games like consoles in the 80s and 90s where people say all they do
are
is
zombies now.
they are. I know, but this is what I'm saying. It's like we're slowly eroding the talent that was given, that humans naturally have.
Yeah.
Humans naturally have a certain level of artistic talent, and it's slowly eroding.
It's dangerous, really. It's really quite scary when you think about it.
A film that I can think of that shows the end product is WALL-E. You're thinking WALL-E when there are all these just fat people just sitting in chairs all day, floating about while technology does everything for them.
Exactly what it's going to be.
That's a genuine danger.
I'm so glad I'm the age I am. I really do feel sorry for your generation, Lily. I really do.
But I wouldn't say that, like, because you're saying that as people who are in an older generation from the 70s and 80s, right? But I'm saying this from someone who's like 16. I wouldn't say that everyone goes down that route. There's more creative people now because of like stuff, but then there's AI. There's like people like me and a lot of my friends who are artists. It's terrifying because in a couple years' time
you're going to be
out of a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the fact that
everything's being done. But the thing is, people are so stupid. It's like, what we're doing is, oh yeah, look, all this technology, we can get this better. In the end, we're making ourselves redundant. It's like, what use of humans going to be?
Right, back to the film.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling took up the role. He's got a daughter, and he took a photo of the Ken doll face down in the dirt next to a squash lemon, and he said, I want to tell his story. So when he's playing the part, even though he's doing it a comedic role, he's actually genuinely thinking, poor Ken, he's such a side character. Because this is what we were saying before when we was having the discussion. I was saying that Ken he's literally just treated as an accessory to Barbie. The argument is, oh, well, in films, that's all women used to be. And there are many films where women are literally there as eye candy.
Yeah.
There's other films where women are strong and empowered.
Yeah.
And there has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But Barbie's almost sort of showing it the other way round of old films.
Yes.
You know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily films now. People are too scared to show a woman being weak in films now because the woke culture's gone too far the other way.
There's a lot of people that are making issues out of nothing. So, for example, one of the Barbies in it, she's a ginger actress. I don't know if you remember, there's like a ginger Barbie that's quite prominent.
Right.
Not Midge, just a ginger Barbie that appears quite a lot.
Yeah.
Her name's Harry Neff. And I don't know how to pronounce her name right. But a lot of people are having an issue with her, even though it's not brought up once in the movie. She's a trans actress.
Right.
But loads of people I've seen have a complaint about it, saying, "Oh, it's the woke agenda. Try and push it down our throats."
I don't think it's. See, I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it's not. It's. Listen, if the actress is good in the part, then that's it. That's the correct actress for it. I'm just talking about in general.
No, I know that's not. I know
You've got
that's
a lot
not
of
what
angry
you're talking
people
about,
fighting.
What I'm saying is there are so many people that are making an issue out of that when it's not an issue in the first place, and those are the people that have the actual problems. Those are the people that are chronically online and making all the problems. When there are actresses like Harry Neff who are excellent at the role, and like I think she did a really great job.
I didn't even know. I didn't know.
But it's not something that you will notice. But then there are people out there that will make it as if like, oh, that's what they're trying to do, but it's not.
I personally would not have a problem with a trans actor playing Ken or Barbie, as long as it wasn't brought up in the film like as if, by the way, did you know this whole time? I've always believed that the person playing the part, as long as I can believe the part, because they are at the end of the day acting. It's like all the way back to Shakespeare when girls used to play men on stage and vice versa. Men would play women on stage. Even now, when you've got the dames at the panto, it doesn't matter.
No,
there's a song at the beginning, Pink, sung by Lizzo, when she's saying, "Hey Barbie," sitting by the pool and all that stuff. It's quite a catchy song. Well, at the moment, Lizzo is now in trouble because she's now getting sued by some of the girls who worked for her, saying that she's bullying and that they were sexually assaulted and stuff like that.
I've seen lots of stories coming out.
Not necessarily by her.
No.
Now, the thing is, I'm not a fan of Lizzo on a personality level.
No.
A couple of her songs I don't mind, but I see it now. I think this is just, again, people want to see that. People want to see someone fall from grace. They want them knocked off the pedestal because it makes you feel better. See, you're human like me. And, you know, I might not be doing too well at work, but at least I didn't do this. It's human nature to want other people to fail. You know?
Yeah.
What I thought you was going to say was how, like, in the film, the Kens are potentially seen as, like, stupid, I would say. But that's not what they're meant to look like. It's just meant to show a kind of how children play with the dolls. Like, girls don't care about Ken as much as they care about Barbie. And that's why the Kens act the way they do, because they're wanting to constantly please the Barbies, because the Barbies are the little girls seeing themselves in Barbie. And loads of people are misinterpreting it as, oh, it's a men-hating film and stuff like that, when it's really
I'd say
not.
it's a men-hating film.
Well,
No, some people are though. Yeah.
Some of the, for example, some of the boys that I'm friends with, they went and saw the film and they were like, yeah, the film obviously hates men. I'm like, well, it doesn't. You obviously didn't understand the film in the way that it's meant to be presented.
Yeah, I see. I don't think it was meant to be a man-hating film, but I could also see why some people would think that. People see it at base level, but you got to think straight from the beginning. It's almost like I compared it to Enchanted.
Oh, but the way that the Kens are all like, yeah, let's do patriarchy. Let's see all these men and horses and stuff like that. That is also meant to show how little boys can come across to little girls. Like, when I was younger, I was told, like, oh, yeah, if a boy's picking on you, it's because he likes you. But, like, I don't personally agree with that. And that's why also the Kens are shown as stupid, because of the fact that girls don't see it that way. They just see it as the boys picking on them. That is something that I personally
think
feel.
when little boys have as a generalisation, boys have a very simplistic view of the world and very straightforward, like, well, if you like me, you should be with me right now, and you should do this. Whereas girls from an early age, it's like they say, girls mature faster. I think they've got more complex thing. It's almost like girls are playing chess while boys are playing Snap. You know, they're not on the same level because they don't register on that emotional level. And the problem is when girls then reject the men, like they do in this, they can't handle it. This is why Ken sings that song, I'm just Ben, I'm just Ken.
I mean, not just that as well.
But he's like, yeah, he's saying, I'm just Ken. And you can see this is what I liked the film, because that number, I thought, this shows, they're trying to show they're not just accessories, they have emotions too, but the Barbies have been shunning them their whole life, taking them for granted. So I liked that the Kens took over, I liked that the Barbies regained power, but as I said, a little misstep. They should have said, Kens, we will listen to you more now, we will listen to your emotions, because you've got to bear in mind the amount of men who go through depression and suicide because they feel they can't open up.
Yeah.
And that's almost what I see is the Ken song, I'm Just Ken, is like, listen to men sometimes. You know, men can be upset too. They should be allowed to express their feelings without being afraid of being told, well, you're not a man anymore.
What I will say as well is you saying how, like, oh, girls mature faster than boys. I think that's because generally, I mean, this is how I feel as a girl myself, like, girls kind of have to mature faster than boys in some ways. Like, I remember being, like, 10 years old and thinking, oh, I probably shouldn't wear that in case, like, something's wrong. But I don't know a single boy who's had to worry about that. Not just that, but also the fact that I've always had, like, this mentality of, like, okay, if I'm hanging out with my friends, I need to make sure that I'm not going to be anywhere that's potentially dangerous in case someone picks me up or someone kidnaps me. Again, I speak to my guy friends about this, and they're like, I've never felt that way. I always feel safe in public.
Whereas girls were sort of like you said, I think girls are targeted more than men, especially by when you see, like, what's going on in certain parts of the world. I don't want to focus on media too much, but, like, a girl is obviously more likely to be attacked than a man.
Of course,
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, for example...
Well, sexually, a sexual assault. Physical violence is actually more likely against a man, because men will posture against each other and in pubs want to fight each other, which, you know, loads of men think, I don't want to have a fight, but this guy's starting a fight with me. Whereas women have to worry about something which might not be as common but is more serious in a way.
And also, you can't get over.
No.
With a man having a fight, you can have a fight and you can bruises go. If a woman's sexually attacked, that's going to stay with her for the rest of her life.
Not just her, but her immediate family around
and
them.
then her future kids, if their kids found out that their mum was like attacked, it's going to haunt all of them. It's a terrible thing.
I know there's a couple things I would say. For example, the statistics for women and being sexually harassed and sexual assault, 1 in 2 women are sexually harassed or sexually assaulted in their life. Like, that is a really scary figure. And not just that, but this is something from me, when I bought myself a set of keys recently, one of the first things I bought for that, like, keychain was a self-defense alarm, because the fact is, when I'm out in public, that is the first thing I'm worried about. I'm thinking, am I going to be safe wherever I'm going?
Well, it's good that you've got that mindset.
It's good that I have that, but it's sad that I have that mindset, because most boys I know, they won't have one of those, because they don't have to worry about it that way, because of the fact that boys, I personally think that they're not going to be as likely to be targeted by someone who wants to kidnap someone, because boys are seen as someone who can defend themselves. Whereas girls, like me, I think about self-defense constantly, because the fact is, I know that I'm probably not going to stand a chance against someone. And that's...
Well, this is it. Women, despite... The generalisation is men are bigger and stronger than women. I'm not saying all... there's plenty of women out there who would be bigger and stronger than me, but the vast majority of men are stronger and bigger than women. So obviously someone who's looking to target someone, they look for the low-hanging fruit. They look for the smallest, weakest person, the person who's going to be too scared. And like you said, it's like if I left a club at 3 a.m, in the middle of London, I'd feel comfortable to walk home.
Done it loads of times.
I'd walk home.
Yeah,
I don't care. No one's going to bother me.
Yeah.
The worst that I could expect is maybe someone mugs me. So give me your money. I'll go, okay, here's my money. But I'd be much more scared if I was a woman leaving the club at 3 a.m. I think, how the hell am I going to get home?
Yeah.
I need a cab. And then when you get a cab, is it a safe cab?
Yeah.
Is the driver safe? There's so much that women have to think about. And not just women, you've got the men who are related to those women. You worry about your mum, your sister, your daughter, your cousins.
But
everything.
also the thing is with like sexual attacks and all that, it happens a lot to men and boys and all that as well.
Yeah, but that's not to say that it doesn't happen to men.
No, it's made. Yeah, it's probably
well.
quite a big thing. But whoever it happens to, it's damaging.
Yeah.
But anyway, this.
See, I know talking about the Barbie film would be all nice and happy.
Yeah, I know. I've been sitting there talking about. They've been going. I've put this podcast on for a nice, like, fluffy pink Barbie talk, and we're talking about self-defence and rape and the way the world's gone.
I've got a couple more facts. As Alan fights the construction Kens, he quotes the taglines that appear on his box when he was first released. He's Ken's buddy, and all his clothes fit him. I didn't notice that.
Oh no, I did. Because
what he's saying that as he's beating him up.
Well, no. So for example, like there's like the narrator says that at some points, but also he's like, "Do you want some more of Alan?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well I'm Ken's buddy, and all his clothes fit me." And that's when he starts fighting him because it's trying to be comedic. It's actually references.
But it's nice that they've spent a lot of detail. They clearly have a lot of love for the source material, like the toys and all the little details in the boxes
and the outfits and all that.
Yes.
Apparently, was spot on.
Oh yeah, the last outfit that Margot Robbie wears, like the blonde, like all yellow dress, and she's got the heart necklace. That's a reference to one of the CGI animated Barbie films. And I only know that because of my friends who are massively into the other Barbie movies.
Was you actually big? You was really big.
No, she was
Barbie,
I was more into Bratz and...
Don't try that, Cole. My Little Pony.
And I was going to say
My Little
that.
Pony used to love My Little Pony. Was it Fluff Dust? What's that called?
Fluff What's it called? Yeah, Fluff Dust.
Angel Dust.
No, the one
Angel
with
Dust,
the one
that
with
was
all
the
the
one.
coloured hair.
Rainbow Dash.
Oh, Rainbow Dash. What's
Yeah.
that? Fluff Dust.
No, right. When arriving in the real world at the end of the movie, Barbie goes by the name Barbara Handler. It is a reference to the daughter of Barbie's creator, Ruth Handler, Barbara. Barbie and Ken were both named after Barbara Handler and her brother, Kenneth Handler. So that's where their names come from. Weird Barbie's fellow Weird Barbies include Earring Magic Ken from 1993.
I love Earring Magic Ken. I know a lot about him, actually.
Palm Beach Sugar Daddy Ken, 2009.
That's a bit weird.
Teen Talk Barbie, 1992. Growing Up Skipper, 1975. That's the one you said about. So from 1975,
She lifts her arm up
Skippers.
and her boobs grow.
Yeah. Barbie Video Girl, 2010. And Tanner the Dog, 2006. Happy Family Midge, 2002, also appears, but she lives in the Barbie Club Chelsea Treehouse next to Barbie's dream house instead of with Weird Barbie. So... Earring Magic Ken, you said you know a lot about
I know quite so the thing with Earring Magic Ken was they were looking to make a second one to go with the Earring Magic Barbie, and so what they did was they went around all the trendy cool places where like men were. However, they actually ended up looking at a lot of gay iconography. So if you want to look at Earring Magic Ken, he's got one ear pierced and the necklace he's wearing is actually quite inappropriate, but I'm not...
What is it, a pearl necklace?
No, I don't want to say it.
Is it a swear word?
In front of her dad and her uncle.
No,
Write it down and I'll say it.
Yeah, the necklace.
I bet it's not even a big deal. I'll say it. You're drawing it. Oh, okay.
That's what he's wearing around his neck.
He's wearing a cock ring around his neck.
I can show you the Earring Magic Ken
No, I believe
doll.
you. I know you wouldn't come out with something like that otherwise.
No.
And they didn't realise it was that.
No, they did not
obviously
realise.
the filmmaker realised,
Yeah.
but
but the creators of the Barbie doll, I'll get it.
they didn't realise. So they'd gone round. They thought we've got to do a magic earring Ken. Let's go see what fashionable bet. Oh, I like what he's wearing around his neck.
So it's like a little gay Ken then. Is it called Cochrane Ken?
No, it's Earring Magic Ken. But
Is that the original one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
He's got plastic. Oh yeah, he always had plastic hair, didn't he?
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's gay Ken, isn't it?
But obviously,
Yeah.
the people who was making it
that's
had
sexually
no.
active Ken. That's gangbang group orgy Ken.
But the thing is,
So that's why they
didn't
made him like
realise-
in the film. You can see he looks a bit gay, doesn't he?
yeah.
You think?
Yeah, and but the thing is, like, that doll was out for a year. So when I saw him pop up, I actually laughed quite a lot because I was
Yeah.
thinking that's really interesting that they've actually put that in the film.
Yeah. But they stuck all them together. It's almost like the freak show ones, the ones that were then banned shortly
Yeah.
afterwards. Which again is a nice little touch that they stuck that in there. The house and the car and everything in the Barbie world was made to size that it would be with the Barbie dolls. That's why everything looks slightly too small for her. The car's slightly too small for her. The rollerblades.
And that was a real. That car was real, but it was being operated by the rear. Like a
really?
remote control. Yeah.
There's
I said when I
lights.
first see the name Greta Gerwig, I was thinking it's that girl that goes, "You have ruined us." What's that girl? You know,
What, the
how
little
dare you? You know, what's that? That girl. You know, the girl that she's. I don't know. She's like
What, in the
Greta.
film?
What's her name? Greta
In
something.
the film? Or...
No, I
oh,
mean,
Greta...
real life.
Oh, you mean, Greta Thunberg?
That's it. That's what I thought. When I looked at her, I thought, oh, don't tell me she's fucking making films
What are you
now.
thinking about? No.
But I didn't know her surname, and I thought that was her.
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, Greta
Anyway, look,
Thunberg
I'm not going to speak no more.
directed
But listen, right, the budget of this film was 128 million, and it's only been out for a month,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And it's already
3 weeks.
3 weeks, and it's already made 835 million.
Wow.
It's got 7.4 on IMDb,
Yeah.
and on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got 88 from the critics and 84 from the audience. So it's on the whole, it seems that people are loving this film. I feel that maybe I've missed something in it, or maybe it's just not for my generation.
There was a guy at my work who I was talking to last night. I was telling him I was doing podcast day. He's seen the film with his girlfriend, and they love it. He said, "This is the best film ever."
Have you ever changed your opinion when you've rewatched something?
Occasionally,
Yeah.
there has been films, but it's usually you have to give a long period of time. It's like I've watched, say, like when I was a kid, when I was like 10, I watched The Accused. Right. Now, watching The Accused I wouldn't recommend for a 10-year-old because you're just watching it thinking, what are they doing to that woman? And I don't know what's going on. Watching it 20 years later, I was like, okay, yeah, I like this now. Barbie is now the highest grossest movie ever directed by a woman.
Oh, that's good.
Which almost seems fitting in a way.
Yeah.
The whole sequence where they're going between Barbie Land and the real world, none of that's CGI. Not a lot of people have realised that about the film, and I really appreciate that.
I don't like
because it makes
CGI
it
because I
more-
think it's a cheat. I think you're cheating in CGI a lot of the
It feels
time.
more tangible if
Well, not just
it's
that.
in camera.
It feels more like it's what a child has made. It's like the child's imagination, like, oh, well, now they're going on a caravan, now they're going through space and stuff
In
like
a
that.
boat,
That is
yeah.
kind of how you play with a Barbie. Like, you're like, all right, you're here, well, now you're over here doing something completely different, and I really enjoyed that about the film.
Yeah, it's like little touches like that, like her coming down off the roof, because obviously when girls play with Barbie, they don't make them walk down the stairs, they just take them off the roof and stuff. Which is, I think it's got a lot of detail, and me personally, someone who's never played with Barbie, apart from with my turtles, I still recognise all these little features, like the shower, not sort of no water actually coming out and no water liquid in the cup.
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah.
Of course, they was even going to at one point have all the Barbie's hands stuck together, like all the fingers stuck together, so it looks more like a real Barbie thing. But they realised the complications of that and doing like some of the scenes and stuff. People look at these old, say, Disney cartoons, for example. Let's focus on them. So the Sleeping Beauties and Cinderellas and things like that. When they say, "Oh, look, stereotypical, the man comes and rescues her," something like that. They say and it sends the wrong image to girls. I don't think it does, and I think what it shows is that is nothing wrong with dreaming. You think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if this man comes along? But I think what it does, which people miss, it gives boys a positive role model, because boys will go, that's how a man should act. He should be a knight in shining armour. He should be chivalrous, be a gentleman. Loads of men like us have been brought up not just to be nice to women, but to be nice to everyone. And I'm still a young, strong man who can stand on my feet all day long. So I'll sit on the train. As soon as that train gets packed, unless I'm sitting next to Lily and I'm protecting her, if I'm on my own, as soon as it gets even if it's just all blokes stand up, I think, you know what, I'm going to stand up, let someone else have my seat, because I don't need it. I don't need the seat. I would rather give it up to someone else.
I'm sorry to sort of change the subject, but it's something I wanted to talk about when you said about how like with like the Disney movies and how like boys are represented in that as like Prince shining armor thing, and you guys are saying like how like that's never been an issue. It isn't, but for people like me, for example, where like because I'm gay, right? I've always felt like, gosh, like I'm gonna have to wait for when that's gonna happen with me for a guy, and it's just the thought that like I've got to find the right guy and stuff like that, and it's realizing there isn't necessarily one, and you aren't necessarily going to find it in that, which is why I'm happy with certain things of representation nowadays that you guys might not necessarily agree with. I wish when I was younger there had been more stuff out there saying it's okay to be a gay female, because there's a lot of stuff for gay men, I would say.
It was the same for
Personally.
me. It's the same.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, but it hasn't made. I don't find things offensive.
No, I don't find it offensive.
I understand the majority of the world is straight, and it's that's just the way it is. It's not. It's a lot more inclusive now. Everything's inclusive, without having to push it down people's throats as well. You know, you can be inclusive and just accept it.
I would say that gay men are more idolised by the public view nowadays than lesbians are. And you may
Especially
disagree with
now.
that.
Well, yeah.
I'd say you'd disagree with that, but the thing is, for example, a TV series I personally love, Heartstopper. It's a very good series, and it focuses on the two male love interests for each other. But there have been TV series like I Am Not Okay With This, which I personally loved, and it stars a lesbian. It's been cancelled because the fact is...
I don't think it's been cancelled because she's a lesbian.
It has been cancelled. But it wasn't as popular because of the fact that it's a gay woman.
Was she gay in it?
Yes.
Oh, she was gay in it?
She was gay in it as well. Right. The actress isn't gay herself, but what I'm you may disagree with that, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, I don't personally feel that the representation that I've had as a gay girl has necessarily been...
But the problem is, there is such a huge demographic. So there's like straight white male, gay white woman, black gay woman, disabled, so many different sort of demographics. It's hard to cater for absolutely everyone. So obviously how the films used to do, they used to just go for the majority. They'd target the majority all the time, the straight white community. They just target them. Nowadays, yes, it's almost like they get a tick on the box. If you target a minority, aren't you being inclusive? They get a pat on the back. But when I used to watch things, say for example, I used to love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now that show is predominantly a black cast, and I remember this. I used to watch it all the time. I'd laugh my arse off. It doesn't matter that I wasn't black. No. I'd see it for what it was. I'd think it was a funny show.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
But what I got
like
annoyed about,
I like it.
Yeah, I got annoyed about. I was having a discussion with a woman at my work, a black woman, and when I said that, she went, "Yeah, but that show's not made for you." And I thought, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter." Now, people, if other people can look at things and go, "I like that," it doesn't matter, it don't relate to me. Everyone should, and the vast majority of people who are complaining about these things are not even in that demographic. You know, the people like most of my friends who are of a minority, if I said to them, "Oh, they're redoing Friends, but they're changing all the cast," they'd go, "Why? There's nothing wrong with Friends."
But yeah, what I wasn't trying to say like as if like, oh, there has to be a character like that. But what I'm saying is, it's nice when there are things that
of course
do actually represent
listen,
you.
But I grew up. But the thing is,
stuff.
listen, we got to understand. I grew up a lot sooner than you, and I didn't have no representation out there. The representations out there for myself was people like sort of Kenneth Williams and John Imran and all that kind of stuff. All the really like, oh, hello, and all that kind, all that kind of.
Yeah.
But they wasn't even people thought they was just acting in a funny way. There was no representation. No. So you have got a lot more representation than the likes of me when I was your age.
Yes.
So you've got to understand that you might not be able to understand that, but you've got to understand I'm a lot older than you. No. You're 16, I'm 49.
Yeah.
When I was that age, it was even more lonelier. It was even more. There's even less out there. Completely. So you've got to understand. It's like it will come, but you are a lot more advanced at your age than what I was at 16 with what I had shown, what I had out there for myself. So you are a lot luckier than what I was.
Yeah.
And I'm okay.
Yeah.
Well, sort of.
Oh yeah, of course. But it might also be where younger people as well feel more impassioned about this kind of thing. I can take and leave things.
I can listen.
easily.
I don't. But I don't. So the thing is, like with anything, it doesn't matter as long as the story's good and the actors have been cast for the right reasons because they're the best for the job. I don't care. It could be bloody anyone, any film about anything. You know, as long as the story's good. I'm not one of these going, oh well, I can't watch that because it's not representing this, or it's representing this too much, or I can't be like that. That's just not the way it is, you know. So.
Oh no, but again, I'm hoping I don't come across as if I'm saying, oh, there has to be one.
No,
of those.
no,
But
no,
what
no,
I'm saying
not
is,
at all.
when I was younger, I would watch like Sleeping Beauty. That was like my favourite growing up. But I was always thinking, gosh, when's my Prince Charming going to come? And it's just what I'm saying is, there wasn't, and that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Like it's trying to find a way of showing that it may not necessarily end up being Prince Charming, and that is kind of what
But
I feel
think
like
there's a lot
happened.
more. There's a lot more with that representation now, at your age, than there was a representation at
you look
my
at-
age.
yeah.
You've got to understand.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying to you. So
No,
we are
I
moving
understand.
forward.
Yeah.
It just takes time. It can't change like that.
Yeah.
You're going into theatre studies and all that kind of stuff. You're going into sort of all your editing and all that kind of stuff. Your film editing.
Well, yeah, I'm
You
going into
could-
film
Yeah,
management and stuff.
film management and stuff. So you can possibly make a difference with stuff. You can actually voice stuff. You'll be in the right
force
area.
it down the
But
throat.
don't ever
It's better
force
to do
exactly.
it. It's better to have a character who happens to be gay, but the story is not about that.
Yeah.
The story is about them living, maybe solving a crime, doing something like that. They happen to be that, but they're
Yeah.
not ramming it down your throat. They're
Yeah.
not saying, by the way, my pronouns are this. It's like,
No.
who cares? No one asked.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
just carry on as normal.
Yeah.
We,
No, I agree.
You know, we accept everything as normal. But back to the Barbie film.
Oh,
So,
God, this is like it's got to be the
Tangent.
longest one
Barbie.
ever. We've gone all over
I'm
it,
so
all around the
sorry.
world.
that's all right. Right. So, Lily loved the film. Ben hated the
I
film.
didn't hate the film.
And I
just feel it's a
liked the
bit-
film. I liked the film. Lily really liked the film, but I think that's right because generation-wise,
yeah.
and also because it was literally made
For her generation,
for Lily.
Yeah,
You know,
and she's seen it 3 times.
Yeah.
you know, it's like if they made a Cindy film, it'd be made, made for someone else.
You'd be so excited.
Yeah, I'd love it. Yeah.
No, but okay, but yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, be interested. Let us know what you think in the comments, whether we're way off the mark or anything else we've said.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on all the podcast things.
Spotify,
iTunes, and many others. We also our email address, if you want to get in contact, is benchamovieclub@gmail.com. We've also just opened up a Facebook page, so
you can abuse us on there. Come on, you can slag us off. We
yeah,
don't care.
I'm sure there's going to be lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next week, it's my choice. And to keep it a little bit more light-hearted next time, we're going American Psycho. It's very quotable. It's very popular at the moment, especially on social media. Now, it's a film that I've always liked a lot. Lily's watched it recently, but Lily has also read the book as well, the Bret Easton Ellis original novel, which is a lot more graphic than the
Yeah.
movie. So hopefully she might be able to come along and quote some...
I'm not going to be quoting any of that.
Okay, or just
But,
point out the differences and your eager film eye on some of the.
Yeah, it's been lovely having you here though,
Thank
Lily,
you.
because
Yeah,
it's been
thank
good
you.
it's been interesting as well to get another point of view,
Well,
and
this
rather
is
than
it.
listening to your father's stupid voice all the time.
Or Ben slagging it off. So why can't it be a Cindy film, right?
Oh, let's not go there.
No, but no, it has
sake.
been interesting because this is the demographic I wanted. I wanted 2 sides because I know this Barbie is almost like a Marmite film. Thanks for listening and tune in next week for more film talk. Thank you. Bye bye.